Right, man, that was exciting, huh? That was a great win for us. It's been a long time for our players to get an Eastern Conference win. And as you look at the schedule, none of them are going to be easy. None of these wins are going to be easy. A lot of them will probably come down to this, right? Something like this. I told our guys in the locker room, we'll be defined on how we finish, and you have to finish games like this, and they were able to do that all the way to 2 seconds, to finish the game and to get the win. So. A lot of positives we can take away from this game. Offensively, had a lot of yards. We were able to establish the run. Hawkins had a big day for us. 3 receivers over 100 yards catching. 2 different quarterbacks coming in, and you really couldn't tell. You didn't miss a beat. Whoever was in the game, quarterback-wise, didn't turn the ball over offensively. Just a lot of good things on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively. We gave up too many big plays. Was a big issue today. I think if you look at the stat-wise, as far as their passing stats, they were under 50% in completion percentage, but there's too many big plays that went for touchdowns. And we have to eliminate the big plays. We talk about it all the time. Staying on top, and we just let too many guys run free there. I thought we contained Dylan for the most part. He had 118 yards maybe, but I think that's probably containing Dylan. I mean, he's good. That's the first time I've seen him in pads. He's a Jerome Bettis type looking running back. Very powerful. Had a couple of big runs there. But for the most part, he was tough yards he had to get. So I was proud of our defense in that respect. But we got to continue to get better. Too many mistakes. Still, and that's something we're coaching, man. We're coaching hard to eliminate those mistakes. Our players are taking ownership. But again, we got to get a lot better with that. Any questions?
Coach, I know this whole season hasn't been ideal in terms of the rotation of quarterbacks and injuries, but in some ways, do you feel like this is a product of getting reps and all these guys getting reps because of what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was really big in the bye week because Malik couldn't go. So I mentioned this last Monday, but Evan Conley got every single rep. I mean, I don't know how else you can say that. He got every rep. What happened with him doing that? He gained respect of his teammates, and I think that's huge. And you can have respect from the coaches and all that, but you have to get it from your peers and your guys you're throwing to and your O-line that's blocking for you, because he worked his tail off that whole week. And then this past week, and we went into this game, Malik was healthy because he practiced all week, but we knew we were going to put Evan in early, and we ended up, I think, was it the first drive in the second quarter, I think, when Evan went in and, did good, did some good things. Malik came back, and Malik gets dinged up again a little bit, and then, Evan comes back in there. So we have all the confidence in the world in Evan Conley. I think because of his work ethic. This past week, he stayed up here every night till 9:30 or 10 on his own watching film. I mean, this is a true freshman. I mean, that's what it says a lot about him. And but we have confidence in him. And really, I've told you guys, I don't care who plays quarterback. I really don't. I just want the guy, whoever's in, is going to move the offense. And both of the guys moved the offense today. Big time plays by our wide receivers today. I was so proud of those guys. To have, and it wasn't just one, it's 3 different guys that had over 100 yards, big plays that got us in an opportunity to score, but very efficient offense today. I think we're averaged 8.5 yards per play. That's very efficient. I think we were 8 for 16 on third down, 1 for 1 on fourth. So a lot of good things we did out there. Particularly in the first half, the only time they stopped us was when our center, I think, twice we had to, false start. So, but other than that, I thought we were moving the ball great. So can be very, very pleased offensively.
Coach, it seemed like you really had a difficult time getting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you think that was one of the reasons that you gave up so many big plays today?
Well, it could have been, but I think more so was our alignment and our assignment. We were lacking there to do that. We were maybe not aligned right, and or did the wrong thing in the call that we had. I think that had more to do with it. Anytime you're playing a team like this, you may not get as much pass rush because you got to stop that run. And so they have some really good tight ends. Those tight ends can play in the pass game and in the running game. So there's times they're leaving the tight end there to block, and then you're worried about the run. The play action sometimes gets those guys to run laterally instead of rushing the passer. It's a good scheme, and I think that's why they've been a very good offense too, all year. It's a difficult offense to stop, particularly when your quarterback's playing efficient like theirs is. We got our first pick today. That's unbelievable, man. We got to celebrate that. That's our first pick. I think it was us and Rice that didn't have a pick all year, so now it's just Rice. So now they got to try to get one. So that was awesome to get that. But yeah, it's a difficult offense to stop. And listen, I kind of compared it to ours. If you're able to run the football like we were today, it opens up the pass. And it just kind of goes hand in hand. So it becomes an efficient offense.
as far as Cunningham goes, was it just tweaking the same injury that he had at the end of Florida State? And could he have gone in that final drive if you had needed him to?
I'm not sure. You know, I think he tweaked. I don't know if it was the same leg or not. It was a lower leg injury. You know, they pretty much tell me he can go and he can't go. You know, and I don't ask a lot of questions. I just tell me who's ready, who's available. Is Evan? You're going. You know, and Evan was out. So I don't think that Malik was ready at the end. I think it was Evan. You know, so that's why Evan was out there at the last drive.
And having a freshman like that, you know, pull out a game-winning drive like that, how big is that for not just him, but for the team?
No, it's good. I mean, you know, like I said, the respect he gained from his teammates, that just amplifies a little bit more now. You know, here's a true freshman that's taking us down when the game's on the line. He took us down and got us in field goal range to make that field goal. You know, it speaks a lot about him, but he's a calm character, man. He's just right here, and nothing phases him. He sees the defense when he comes off. It's easy to talk to, so. No, he's a good football player. You know, I was proud of him the way he played.
Did you say anything to Blanton before the kick, and what's your level of confidence in him?
Oh, I love Blanton. He's awesome. You know, he's like a swing machine. I don't know if you guys have seen that in golf. It's kind of like you know, Vince, our AD. He's like the same thing, the swing machine. You know, if you watch Vince Tyree swing his golf ball, he can do it.
What a sucker.
Hey, and it goes right down the middle every time. Well, that's the way Blanton is. When he swings his leg, it's just like, man, when he misses one, I'm like, man, he missed one, he's human, you know? Like today, I fully expect him to make the first one today, you know? And then, you know, he was mad. He came out at halftime and kicked some more, and then he was, you know, we fully confident he would nail it. I don't talk to the kickers. I'll allow them to do their thing. All kickers are a little bit different anyway, and you know, so allow them to be in their space, let them get their mind right, and then let them go kick. We love him. We think he's one of the better kickers out here. So he nailed it, you know, right down the middle. So you know, proud of him as well for making that kick. You know, we're going to need him again. There'll be some more games in the future where we know they'll come down right to the end of the game, and you have to make those. You know, so it's critical to have a good kicker.
That opening drive from Boston College, they're making it look easy, and then
Yeah.
Lonnie with that big strip and fumble. How big was that moment for you guys early?
Yeah, it was huge, you know, particularly that first drive, you know, and they hit a big third down on us, and you go all the way down, but, you know, the bottom line, I don't care how many yards teams get, just keep them out of the end zone, you know, and we did on that particular drive. That was huge. We almost had another one on the fourth down, you know, with the Q sneak, you know, which was, you know, a little questionable there, but, you know, but again, our defense continued to play, and it's never over. You know, it's never over. You have to have that mentality. You know, if they get down to the one, you keep fighting all the way to the very end. And you know, so yeah, we held them just enough there in that game to be able to win.
Last 2 minutes, you have an illegal substitution coming out of a timeout.
I was hoping nobody bring that up.
Gives them
It was
the first
you
down.
brought that.
Also, 2 plays before the field goal, the ball's on the ground.
Mhm.
What's your anxiety level, and how do
I'm
you
gonna look like you
process
here
all
pretty
this?
soon, you know. I'm gonna have to go from the visor to a hat. Those, you know, obviously we don't like it. You know, it was one of those things, you know, particularly out of a timeout. That is ridiculous. You know, that right there, I need a punching bag on the sideline so I can just punch the bag, you know, and just let my frustration, because it's really unacceptable, quite honestly. You know, we in a timeout, we called base defense, and you know, one of our players ran out, you know, thinking it was nickel defense, but it's base. You know, once you get out there, you realize, oh, it's base. You know, and I went out. It's fourth down. You know, that's unacceptable. The other one where, you know, we fumbled an exchange. That's a zone read. You know, we work on it every day, just ball handling, and it was one of those deals where Evan held the ball a little bit longer probably than he should, and he tries to pull it. Well, the running back thinks, I got to get it, you know, and it's kind of right there. But I'm going to tell you, it's a huge play in the game. Tyler Haycraft, he's one of my favorite players on this team because of the way he plays. You know, he plays his tail off all the time. He's always near the ball. Well, just so happened he was near that ball too, so he fell on it and he got that ball, which actually, you know, secured us to be able to kick the field goal. He's one of the ones that got a penalty there. He got a penalty because he's blocking his guy through the end of the end zone into the goal post. I kind of like that, actually. You know, kinda like that. I wish we had more guys doing that. You know, next time. I don't want the penalty. You know, when whistle blows, just stop. But I want guys where we have to say whoa instead of go. You know, and he's that guy. You know, and I love the way he plays. And you know, and he apologized. Listen, man, you play tough. Keep doing what you're doing. But it's his hustle that enabled us to get that ball back in order to kick the field goal to win the game. So that was one of the plays of the game right there.
Yeah, as the ball's on the ground, second passes, what's your anxiety level?
Get on it, You know, just get on the ball. I don't know. I saw Evan there, and I saw Haycraft, and I was like, man, just get on the ball. You know, but you can't let it affect you. You know, I got to think about the next play that we're going to call to try to, you know, to run the next play. It was, you know, it put us in a long yardage situation. I think it was 10 or 11 yards at that point. So, you know, I try to stay even keel. You know, you guys asked me before the season, you know, you ever get excited? I mean, I get real excited out there, but I try to stay even keel. You know, I'm like the duck analogy, you know, with the legs under the water going crazy. That's inside, that's what's happening, but outside I want that calm demeanor. Because I want our kids always to know we're in a game. Like, we're always gonna have a chance to win this football game. I don't care what the score, what the situation. You know, we always gotta fight. You know, when we do that, we're gonna win a lot more than we lose.
Coach, this team faced a lot of adversity today out there, and you guys were able to overcome it and get a victory. How much do you think that that's going to benefit you moving forward this season?
It's going to be huge. You know, we've learned a lot in the last 2 weeks about our football team. I think, you know, going back to Florida State, you're down 21-0, and a lot of teams fold right there. You know, we didn't. We got the lead back in the fourth quarter. We just didn't finish. You know, we've got to find a way to finish. Well, we learned from that, and I thought it helped us today, some of those scenarios. And then today it's a back-and-forth game. You know, you get frustrated, you know, at this, but you come back and you battle. I love it. You know, winning games like this right helps your football team. You know, you're not going out and winning by 30. You know, these really help because you find a true character of a team when you do face adversity. And so we know we got a long ways to go. We got to get a lot better, a lot of different things. But man, we can build off of it on game, you know, wins like this. You know, we're going to be a lot better football team because of it.
Scott, you were recruiting Evan to App State. How much convincing did you have to do to get him to follow you here?
Yeah, that's a good question, you know, because everything was happening fast. You know, he was committed to us in the summer. He was going to App, you know, and then when all this stuff happened, we came up here. We know we needed a quarterback. We had a great relationship with him. We knew he could throw and play, and we just went to him in school and said, hey, would you want to come up? And he's like, okay, you know, a little reluctant, you know, but yeah, okay. And his mom and dad came up, and I think the biggest thing they wanted to know was, will I have an opportunity here? You know, will I have an opportunity here? And absolutely, you have an opportunity. It's just like the quarterbacks that we have committed for next year. We told them the same thing. You absolutely have an opportunity because, again, I don't care who plays quarterback. We're going to play the best one. And Evans, he's pretty daggone good. You know, he's earned himself a spot to be able to get some playing time, and that's why he played today. You know, and if his number's called, he'll make the play. So will Malik. You know, I was proud of Malik. He battled back today from the injuries. You know, so I'm proud of Puma. You know, whenever he gets back. You know, I hope he gets back next week. You know, so. Those guys are, you know, an integral part of your team, and you have to have them. We all know that at that position. You know, that's one of the positions where you better have some guys. And so we'll continue to develop our guys there and hope they continue to get better.
Last three, Connie, Cameron, Rick.
Coach, obviously your first ACC win, but these guys spent on more than 600 days.
It's hard to believe, really.
Do you? I mean, celebrating with them and seeing them in the locker room, do you get a sense of how much this means to them?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that's what I told them. I'm so proud of them. You know, I said, we ask so much of these guys. We hold them accountable every single day. Going to class, going to study hall, showing up on time for weights, going to breakfast, going to, you know, all the little things that we ask them to do on a daily basis. So I want to see the fruits of that labor, you know, and today is that. And I'm so happy for them. One of the couple of guys mentioned, I think they've been here, you know, 2 or 3 years. He said, man, I hadn't won a game since my freshman year. You know, that's a long time ago in the ACC. So, but I want them to get used to this. I want them to get used to this feeling right here. It's fun. This is where the fun is at. You know, when you can celebrate and you have a 12:30 kick, and I don't care who wins any of these rest games the rest of the day, but we're gonna have our feet up and relax. I don't care, man. That's the beauty of a 12:30 kick when you get a big win. So no, you're exactly right. I'm happy for our guys.
Coach, earlier in the week you talked about the importance of game tackling because you said you had to contain Dillon and Bailey for that matter. How pleased are you with the progression of really the D-line and those linebackers?
Yeah, you know, it's a tough ask of our guys today with both of their backs. You know, I joked about, you know, they had Dillon and then the small back comes in. He's 240 pounds. I mean, they had 2 big backs. And it wears on you defensively. They want to try to wear you down, you know, because your guys are flying in all the time just making those tackles. We game tackled well today. We got after it. We guys were chasing the ball. You know, the biggest thing today was just the big plays. I mean, we just have to eliminate those big plays. But I thought overall, you know, game tackling well and running to the ball, playing hard, you know, those are things that we talk about every day that we have to get better at. And we did a good job with it today.
You're almost at the halfway point of the season. Are you where you wanted to be? Are you ahead of where you thought you'd be?
You know, I'd like to be better than where we are right now, quite honestly. I feel like, you know, we had an opportunity to win 2 weeks ago, and that's very disappointing. You can't look back, but, you know, we wanted that. We could have got that win. I'll say could have got, you know. But, you know, I'm happy with our effort. I am happy with that effort. I told you guys that at the beginning in August, you know, to me, success for this season will be our effort on game day, how we go out and play, the consistency that we play with, and the product that we put on the field so that our fans want to come out and support us. I'm happy with that. That part of it, absolutely, 100%.
All right, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.